And I am live. I'm early. I was like, I know it's going to take me some time to get all of this up and running, so I should start now. It didn't take as much time as I thought it was. Hi, everybody. I'm logging into the group right now so I can see you guys. Okay, so if you're watching the replay in the Facebook group or on YouTube, welcome, welcome. This is going to be a live video about how to be the most happy and peaceful over the holidays. Hi, Heather. Hi, Jennifer. So holidays have been traditionally a really, really hard time for me, and I'm curious if it has for you guys. Are the holidays like nice and easy and you just breeze on through, or do you find some difficulties during the holiday season? So go ahead and comment down below. Welcome, welcome, guys. I am going to get the presentation ready as I wait to hear what your thoughts are on the holidays. There says holidays have been super hard for me for a long time. Yeah, me too. I had so many things that were difficult. I'm going to try to put my phone up here so that I am not looking away. I had so many things that were difficult, and so I started hosting a Happy Through the Holidays several years ago when I was helping miscarriage support clients. It was a really tough time for them. And when I asked this group, this community, if that was something that you guys would find beneficial, you guys said yes. And so I'm really excited to be here with you talking about this. So many different difficulties. Same here, Heather. Hi, Desiree. Jennifer says the holidays are hard. Desiree says around lost mostly. That's what a lot of mine has been too. Hi, Sarah. Hi, Megan. Hi, everybody. There's a part of me that loves the holidays with my kids, but also a part of me that hates them because I get so sad. Yes, yes, yes. It's definitely a time when people feel sad over ones that they've lost, but there's this other element of so much pressure to get things right, to get the right gifts, to get the right amount of gifts, maybe even pressure over spending money that we don't have. I can count a lot of times that I spent a bunch of money on a credit card for Christmas because I didn't have the funds in order to fund it right then. And so that is really, really difficult for a lot of people. Heather says, I agree with Megan. I try to be happy for my kids, but it feels so hard. Yeah. To be able to afford gifts has been hard. Yes, yes. Sending so much love to Jennifer, who's just experienced a loss. And whether the loss has been recent or whether the loss was a long time ago, the holidays can really bring up those feelings over not having that person around. So let's just get started with the slideshow, because we're going to dive into each and every one of these topics. And at the end, we're going to have a Q&A. So let me go ahead and share my screen, guys. Okay. So if you guys have not seen it, I have compiled a PDF with all of my best tips and tricks for staying happy through the holiday season, to generate that peace, to generate that happiness through the holiday season. There's also some journal prompts for each of the topics that we'll be discussing today on that PDF. So if you haven't gotten it, please do. I don't have a link to drop in the Facebook group, but if anybody else does and they can drop it, that would be very nice. Otherwise, I can share it at the end. So what we're going to be talking about today, guys, is stress from pressures and expectations, missing lost loved ones, probing questions from family and friends, food, diet, and body stress. And then we're going to have some space for Q&As. Hi, Paige. I struggle with all of those things. Yeah, you know, I struggled with all of these at least at one point in time. Maybe not all of them every single year, but absolutely, I have had my share of difficulties in each of these areas. So let's go ahead and just get started. with the stress from pressures and expectations. So first and foremost, when it comes to stress of pressures and expectations, one thing that I really think of is the expectation to buy a bunch of gifts that we can't afford, to have all of the right gifts, to attend everything that we've been invited to. This could be um, uh, uh, maybe each of your kids has asked for a certain thing and you want to provide that and you don't have the money. Maybe you think that people are going to want to do a gift exchange, but you just don't either have the funds or you just don't want to do a gift exchange. And so with the cooking stress, decorations, there's just so many expectations around the holidays. And so I think first and foremost, the invitation here is to ask yourself, first off, whose expectations are those? And what expectations is there wiggle room on? I remember when I first started thinking about creating this beautiful holiday with peace and loving friends and having this feeling of peace and happiness through the holidays. One of the things I really had to do was ask myself, like, what am I willing to let go of? Who am I willing to disappoint? How many expectations are being placed on me by other people? And how can I set strong and healthy boundaries around those expectations? Um, so I put on here to prioritize important tasks, gifts, etc. So we can't do all of the things, but we can do the most important things. We can't buy all of the things, but we can buy the most important things, right? So this is definitely like this invitation to really sit down and think, what are the things that I really want to do? When it comes to expectation, a lot of times we're doing things that we don't want to. So how can we design this holiday? How can we design this life in a way where we're doing the things that we want to and we're not doing the things that we don't want to? This can be in delegating tasks. For instance, if all of the holiday shopping falls on you and it's exhausting and you end up spending hours, can you ask someone to take over some of that for you? Can you delegate some of the cooking to someone else, some of the cleaning, some of the decorating? Really just asking yourself, what can I delegate and what am I willing to let go of? What doesn't need to get done? What gift exchange doesn't need to happen? So this is definitely an invitation to release expectations of yourself, but it's also an invitation to release expectations of others, because just as you wouldn't want their expectations to fall on you, you don't want to expect too much from the people around you and create a stressful time for them either. And so to really start to lead your life at this time with no expectations and asking yourself, what feels good? What would I love to do this season? Maybe what you'd love to do is bake cookies with the kids, but not even have a gift exchange, or maybe one gift per person. I remember a few years back, I set a boundary. I said, I will accept one gift per person. You know, I wanted to limit sort of that gift giving expectation for myself and for my immediate family. I just said one gift per person, maximum. I put a maximum spending limit on it. And that's the exact same amount that I spent on everybody who was getting me a gift. And that felt really good for me. It didn't feel stressful because I already knew, like, this is the limit. This is all that I'm going to be spending. It feels good. And so really having those conversations with people, really having those conversations about, hey, I feel so tired by the end of the day when I've done all of the prep, all of the cooking, all of the cleaning, all of the decorating. What are we going to let go of? Or what will you be willing to help me with, right? Because maybe that means instead of cooking 6 side dishes, if you're anything like my family, you cook a lot of side dishes, maybe it's about scaling that down to 2 side dishes. Or maybe that's about someone else taking on 2 and someone else taking on 2, and you still get the same outcome. So really just looking at, how can I let go of things? How can I delegate things? And how can I prepare ahead? And there's definitely like this invitation here of how can I be as present as possible? That stress just takes us right out of the present moment. It takes us right out of that enjoyment. So this is definitely like this invitation to just enjoy. Maybe you're a person who loves getting gifts for people, but you don't like the stress of getting gifts. So how can you stay present when you were purchasing the gifts or choosing the gifts for other people? Let's talk about money here too. We had a Q&A about this. Um, there's definitely like, oh, some of us don't have the funds to purchase a bunch of gifts for family or friends. And some of us may even want to purchase those gifts, but we just don't have the financial ability to do so. I feel like in this case, it's really important to have a chat with the people who may be expecting gifts. Talk to them about that expectation. Talk to them about your current circumstance. Set that boundary for yourself. Um, I can't speak for everybody, but I know that if somebody said, hey, I really wanted to get you a gift this year, but I'm not going to be able to, I would have no problem spending time with them. Having a conversation with them would be absolutely fine for me and probably for you guys as well. So just know that that expectation and that pressure is likely a lot of times something that you're putting on yourself. Does anybody have any questions or anything to discuss about this section before we move forward? Go ahead and put them in the comments. And even if you're watching the replay, feel free to comment any questions. Feel free to comment throughout this presentation. And we're going to go ahead and move over to lost loved ones. If you feel triggered by this sort of conversation, skip ahead 5 or 10 minutes in the replay. Or if you're here with us live, feel free to pop off for a few minutes and then come back. But this is definitely something a lot of us struggle with. And something that I found too is it's not even about just the ones who've passed and the ones that we've lost, but it's also about the family members that are across the country that we can't travel to go see, or they can't travel to come see us. Maybe for whatever reason, they're not going to be with you at the holiday time. So this whole section is both about people who've passed, and also about those who can't be with you for whatever reason. So let's go ahead and get started. So I think that for me, what's been really helpful is to honor my lost loved ones at that time. I feel like a lot of times when we've had a loss, we try to distract ourselves from it. And I know that I used to do this a lot. I wouldn't mention the person. I wouldn't think about the person. I would, just try my very best to deflect and distract myself from thinking about anything like that. Can you guys let me know that I'm still alive? Can you see me and hear me, guys? Um, and so I feel like one of the things that really has helped me throughout the years has been honoring the ones that I've lost, has been connecting with them. Okay, good. Thanks, guys. I'm just making sure. Connecting with the people that we've lost. And some of the ways that we can do that is to cook their favorite dish. We can set up an altar space for them, maybe put up some pictures and some things that they loved. Maybe we can dedicate time with family to honor them. So maybe we come together as a family and we have a moment of silence, or maybe we tell fun stories about when that person was with us. Just a way to really honor their memory, a way to celebrate them and their lives, whether it be personal and private with ourselves or in a group of people. I know a lot of people really like this technique of setting them a place at the table. And also like possibly cooking one of their favorite dishes can be a really great way to connect in with somebody that you've lost. Absolutely, Amy. Amy says feeling lost can apply to a parent who's gone through dementia. Yeah, even if they're right there with you, you still suffer a loss. Yeah. Megan says, I like to cook my dad's favorite dish, and we look at pictures and talk about our favorite memories. Perfect. Jennifer says, my necklace is an urn for my mom, and it's in the butterfly pendant. Yeah, I love that. So to bring your lost loved ones with you in your heart, to celebrate them, to, communicate with them, maybe writing them a nice letter. All of these can be really great ways to bring them in and close to us. And then what if you have family members that can't be with you? Maybe they are out of town, maybe they live far away, maybe they are with another parent. That's pretty common too, I think. Um, I think that the most important thing here is to make sure you carve out time to celebrate with them, whether it's over the phone or over Zoom or some sort of way to connect with them if possible. Really carving out that time, saying, hey, I'd love to talk to you from this time to that time. Would that work for you? Maybe maybe it's not necessarily on Christmas Day or Christmas Eve if that's the holiday you're celebrating. Whatever holiday it is, it may not be on the exact day. But I think that having some sort of set time that you're going to have some festivities with them. It could be a phone conversation, it could be a Zoom call, maybe a FaceTime. And having that scheduled prior to the holiday. I think that's really important too, because if you're like, oh, I'll just call them on the holiday, maybe they're busy and they don't answer, and that can be really difficult. So definitely an invitation to schedule it prior to the holiday, to come up with a plan prior to the holiday, to get together. Maybe you're going to have dinner and a chat over video, but to celebrate in some way. And I know that for me, this was a big thing for me one year when I woke up in the morning and I found that I just didn't feel like my life was the way that I had planned. I felt like I didn't have what I wanted. I didn't have this big family. I had lost my mom and my sister. And I just remember feeling absolutely terrible because I didn't have a plan that day. So the two lessons that I really took away from that holiday was, number one, to make a plan, to have a plan for yourself on the holiday. And number two, to ask yourself, where am I not in acceptance of my current position? Where am I feeling this lack of acceptance with my life? And to give yourself permission to have whatever feelings you have in that moment, but to really ask yourself, how can I come to this place of acceptance with how life is? Um, oh, I love that, Sarah. Yes. Um, is there any questions on this section, guys? When it comes to honoring your past loved ones, I think if you feel like you're going to be really emotional from a loss, I think giving ourselves permission to feel that emotion, to giving ourselves permission to sit with that, maybe even scheduling that, like saying, okay, I know I'm going to be feeling a lot of emotions over this. I'm going to give myself some time from this time to this time. I'm going to journal about it. I'm going to sit and I'm going to think about it. I'm going to allow myself whatever feelings come up. I think that can be a really powerful way to process our feelings as well. Okay, guys, so the next category, and feel free to leave any questions if I missed anything. The next category is probing questions from family and friends. A lot of times this comes up when it comes to milestones within our lives. So a good example of this that I can give from my own experience and a lot of my clients' experiences is when you're going through infertility and family members ask whether or not, or when you're going to have a baby, for example. There's a lot of relatives that say, when are you going to get married as well? You're not getting any younger, like certain things like this that can actually be incredibly triggering. So some of my best tips for this, number one, I think the biggest thing is to plan ahead. Have you been triggered in these family gatherings before? What has been triggering to you? What topics tend to trigger you? These could be political topics as well. It could be some family member that talks about the opposite end of the spectrum on politics as you. That conversation could make you really mad, could make you really triggered. The invitation here is to think ahead. It's to really ask yourself, what am I expecting to come up during this? What does typically trigger me on a regular basis? Like what areas of insecurities might I have right now? It could be people commenting about body image. It could be people commenting about body image for somebody else. We're going to talk deeper about that in the next segment, but this can be really triggering for us as well. I have an uncle that tries to debate my religious beliefs every Christmas. Yeah. Being told I'm too sensitive triggers me. Yeah. And so really sitting down and saying, okay, I know Uncle Joe tends to talk about this. What is going to be my response? So first off, when it comes to feeling triggered, I like to have a mantra at hand. A good example of that for you guys is sensitivity is a gift, right, Sarah? Sensitivity. So if somebody says something about you being too sensitive, just tell yourself in your mind, sensitivity is a gift. My sensitivity is a gift. My religion is perfect for me, right, Megan? Whatever that mantra is that you're going to say to yourself to stop the emotions, but know that you don't have to answer any questions that aren't okay. It's even okay to say to someone, I'm not going to have this conversation. It's okay to walk away from a conversation that you do not wish to have. You can be kind without being nice. I feel like nice is about being polite. It's about protecting the comfort of the person in front of you. You don't have to protect their comfort. You can be kind while and without being nice, right? So being kind is not saying mean things back to them, but you don't have to honor their wishes to converse about the subject. You don't have to answer their question. You can literally say things like, I don't want to have this conversation. I'm told that I'm needy and highly sensitive and anything triggers me. Yeah. Just you saying my religion is perfect for me made me cry. Oh, Megan. Yes, your religion is perfect for you. So yeah, come up with that mantra that you're going to tell yourself to reassure yourself to validate yourself, right? When we're triggered, a lot of times we're feeling invalidated. And so really consider validating yourself in those moments. Come up with answers for unforeseeable questions. When Uncle Joe says X, here's what I'm going to say back. I'm anticipating this is going to happen. Here's my exit plan, and here's what I'm going to say. Know that your boundaries are between you and you. Watching the boundaries video, guys, if you're new here, I also have a boundaries video that is a must-see. Watching that boundaries video before a family interaction could be really good. Remind yourself of all of those truths, all of those mantras, to really hold strong on your boundaries at this time. You don't owe anybody anything. I've said if you're going to continue this conversation, then I'm going to leave now. Absolutely. That's perfect. Absolutely. Any other questions about probing questions from families and friends? I sometimes change the subject when family triggers me. It doesn't feel either nice or kind though. Yeah. Yeah. It's probably more nice than kind, I think, because it's polite. You're doing your best in that moment to protect their feelings by switching the subject, by trying to just kind of divert attention from it. So it's probably more nice than kind. Um, yeah, and I have always been a person that's very non-confrontational too. So can you think of an exit strategy that's non-confrontational? What if you look them in the face and you say, "Excuse me, I need to go to the bathroom." And you just leave and you just go to the bathroom, right? Maybe it's emergent. You don't have to become confrontational, but you don't have to be nice either. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Feel free to drop any questions you guys have. Food, body, and diet stress. So this shows up in so many ways, guys. This has shown up for me when I am dieting. When I have been, I don't diet anymore, but when I have been dieting, sometimes I get worried that people are going to pressure me to eat food that I don't want to eat. Sometimes I get worried that people are going to judge the amount that I eat, the foods that I eat. I sometimes I have avoided get-togethers completely entirely because of the size of my body. I didn't want to be seen even. And so you might have some of these food or body image issues come up. Um, you might be worried about people saying things about what you're eating or what you're not eating. You might be worried about pressure and expectations over eating certain things or not eating certain things. And then there's definitely the body image issues as well. One of the things that has helped me so much with my body image issues and showing up regardless of the body that I have is I started recognizing that the people in my life that I loved and looked up to and was inspired by, it had nothing to do with the size or the look of any part of their body. It was who they were as people. It was how they treated me. It was the things that they were teaching and the things that they like that vibe, right? Right, right, Jennifer. Yeah, so know that people love you for you, not your body. The people that truly love you and are meant to be for you and around you, they're going to love you no matter what, and they're not going to care at all about your body. And I feel like that has really helped me show up regardless of whatever body I'm in, because I know that if I'm like that, if I accept people and I love them for something completely different, than other people love me for that as well. Ditch the diet mindset. I'm not telling you what to do, guys, but diets don't work. I have been on diets and diets and diets. And one of the first thing they taught us in health coaching school is diets don't work. They really don't. Like 80% of diets fail, if not more. I don't remember exactly what that percentage is, but when it comes to diets, ditch the diet mindset. Eat in abundance. Think about healthy food as nutrient dense food. Don't label your food good and bad. Don't be on the right track or the wrong track. Obviously, I'm not telling you what to do, but one thing that I've found is that the diet mindset, it just it's very limiting. It's very good or bad, like I did bad, or I was bad, or I was good, or there's this litmus test to it. And then there's the like, I screwed up my diet, I'll start again next Monday, and then you eat whatever's in sight until Monday. And for me, I was always sad when I was on a diet. I don't know about you guys, but diets don't bring me happiness. Yeah, Tammy says my family always makes unnecessary comments about my body and weight. Growing up, I had an ED and I still have problems with loving myself and my body. Yeah. Jennifer, I have people around me that love me and they say they love my body. Perfect. And a huge rule here, don't comment on other people's bodies. The more people that get this message, the less we will all have to deal with when it comes to the body image issues. Because even if somebody doesn't tell you that your body is unacceptable, like to your face, if they're telling you someone else's body is unacceptable for whatever reason, you tend to judge your own. And so as a general rule, don't engage in those conversations. Don't do it yourself. Don't comment on other people's bodies. This includes, oh, you've lost weight. You look so great. Don't do it. Okay, the holidays are not about food. This is a big one too, right? Um, you don't have to have food at a gathering. You don't have to engage in that sort of thing. The holidays for me are about getting together with family and friends and showing love. So sorry about that, guys. That was my cats. Can you wait until I'm not on a video, please? So yes, holidays are not about food. They're about family. They're about getting together. They're about love. They're about sharing love and presents, not presents like gifts, but presents, like being present with the ones around you. Any questions about food, body, and diet stress? Could you guys hear the cats? I'm so sorry. I'm going to give a couple seconds to see if any comments come through for the Q&A. Okay, so let me start with the questions that we've already gotten. And we may have kind of covered these questions, but we'll cover them again. Sarah asked, how do I motivate myself more? So the comment isn't really specific with what type of motivation you're looking for, Sarah. But when it comes to motivation, the key is to finding your big why. Why do you want the thing that you want to be motivated towards? Why do you want that thing? For me, the best way to stay motivated on a goal is to really get connected with my why, that deep, deep reason that you want to do it. And as you find yourself unmotivated, all you have to do is connect back in with that why. Am I still on, guys? Is it still working? Okay. What do I do about everyone wanting to exchange gifts and I don't with everyone? So it sounds like Stacy is saying, there's a lot of people around me that want to exchange gifts, and I want to exchange gifts with some people, but not everybody. You're welcome, Sarah. With some people, but not everyone. If you want to be more specific, Sarah, and have me address it deeper, let me know. Okay, so what do I do about everybody wanting to exchange gifts and I don't? I'd say to have that conversation, to set that boundary, to say, I'm only planning, or I'm not planning on doing a gift exchange this year. Or you could also, do things like cards. But I think a lot of times when we feel like there's this expectation, like someone's going to give us a gift, if we give them a card, then we're not like doing the equal reciprocal sort of thing. You can even say to the person, I'd like to only exchange cards this year. Do it in a nice and kind way. You don't have to tell them why, you don't have to make excuses for why, but just to be open and honest, I think is really a great way to broach it. Is is just to say, hey, I'd like to only exchange cards this year. And maybe the person would say like, oh, I already got you something, but receiving a card from you would be just fine. I don't even know how it just advanced, but I think setting those healthy boundaries is a really good start for that. Having those conversations with people who may be expecting gifts from you. Um, I think a lot of people, it would take pressure off of other people as well, because right now inflation is tough and the economy is tough and it is really hard for all of us. So for a lot of people, that might produce a lot of stress relief for them as well. Lisa, how do you afford buying gifts? I feel like for this, it's pretty much the same answer, right? Don't. If you can't afford buying gifts, don't. You can make a card for the person. You can buy only cards. You can make a handmade item that is low cost. Or you can just say, due to financial difficulties this year, I will not be exchanging gifts. Know how to set good, strong boundaries, guys. I know that there's a lot of expectations around the holidays, but as you start to work with your own boundaries, you'll find that it just gets easier and easier. I think that is the last one that we had here, but Tammy asked a question. How do you love your body without feeling guilty for eating? Ideally, Tammy, loving your body won't have, I'm gonna end this here. Stop the share. Okay, there we go. Ideally, Tammy, you wouldn't be mixing love for your body and eating at all. Eating should have nothing to do with love for your body. I feel like the path to loving our body is, it's a spectrum and it's a path. It's not typically something you just wake up and you've snapped your fingers and you have it. It is something that takes practice. I remember when I first started my journey for self-love, which includes, love for my body. And I feel like the first thing I did was intuitive eating. I feel like the first thing I did is asking myself, how could I improve my relationship with my body? It was separating myself from my body and seeing as two separate entities and asking myself, how am I treating you, my body? Once I had a good idea as to the relationship that I had with the body, how can I treat you better? How can I appreciate the amazing things that you assist me in doing every single day? How can I love you more today? Mirror work can be really handy with this, Tammy. This is just a small thing that you do every day where you stand in front of the mirror. You can work up to like 3 minutes, 5 minutes, maybe start with 30 seconds if you need to. Set a timer, look in the mirror, look directly in your eyes and say, I love you until it goes off. This is a very powerful practice. And can be somewhat triggering at first and can be really difficult. You might notice some resistance coming up when you try to do it as well. And so that can be a really great way to start to learn to love your body. I have a self-love playlist. It's not necessarily body-centric, but I feel like the better relationship we have with our soul and spirit, the more we accept our body as well. So I would sing these love songs to myself. These are truly love songs. I used to sing them to myself. I do have them on my LinkedIn. Tammy, if you want, I can unlock them for the next couple of days so you can grab it. I'm making a note and I'll do it as soon as the video is over, Tammy, if you want to add my self-love playlist to your Spotify. I used to sing those songs to myself and it was life-changing in my journey to self-love. Hi, Leslie. I feel like a lot of people think that they have to change their body to love their body. And I don't think that that's true. I think that that is the epitome of not loving our body. We don't say I love you to somebody and then try to change them. So loving our body is about accepting it exactly as it is, knowing that it is our vessel on this earth. And um, like I said, this is a journey, not usually something that you can just snap your fingers and get. You're so welcome, Tammy. Okay, so Sarah said mostly regarding cleaning and decluttering. And we talked about this a little bit before, Sarah, and it's really important to know exactly why you want it to be cleaned and decluttered. Um, do you want that? Do you even want it? We're not going to do something, we're not going to work towards something if we don't want it. So why do you want it? And then getting deeper into the why. So let's say, for example, I'm just going to make something up for you, Sarah. I want things clean and decluttered because I feel really amazing when my surroundings are nice and tidy. It makes me feel relaxed. It makes me feel clutter free, and it takes away my anxiety, for example. So then I'd say, why do I want to feel relaxed? Why do I want to feel clutter free? And why do I want to be taken away from my anxiety? Because I'll just be so happy. I'll just be so fulfilled. So then when you think about like feeling so fulfilled, that's your big why. So in those moments when you feel unmotivated, it's like, I want to feel fulfilled. And I know that I'm going to get that if I spend half an hour tidying up. So then we're motivated to do it because we're really working towards that feeling of being fulfilled. Because likely, Sarah, just the surface level cleaning and decluttering is not enough to motivate you to do it. And I know we talked a little bit too about, yeah, I see, like, not wanting to be embarrassed is tough. What I want to feel proud of my house might be a better way to put that, but I kind of lost my train of thought, Sarah. Oh yeah, we were talking a little bit about cleaning up art supplies, and part of the reason for that is because you want it to be clean for your mom to come over. But the thing of it is when you're using a bunch of supplies over and over and over, if you kept it picked up, you'd be picking it up several times a day. But if you just picked it up before your mom came, for example, you'd pick it up one time in a few days, maybe, right? So the body, our mind wants to do the least amount of work possible to get to our goal. So if the goal is to have it clean for mom, we're only going to do it once right before mom's there. But if the goal is to have a clean and tidy house all the time, then we'll do the least amount of effort to get that. I hope that makes sense. I think it's really hard when we're wanting to do something for another person. We have to really want to do it for ourselves in some way, shape, or form to get that motivation. Are there any more questions, guys? You're welcome. I I don't think I have any more spots left, guys, for the happy through the holidays free calls. Not before Christmas. I have a couple that are still open for after Christmas. You can find that on the PDF if you'd like to book into that. But like I said, there's only a couple spots left in there at the very end of the month. I think the 29th and the 30th. If you don't have the if you don't have the guide, you can go to the link in my bio on Instagram or TikTok and you can find it. It's on my link tree. I'll also post it below this video as soon as I get off of here. And Tammy, I'm going to unlock my self-love playlist for you as soon as I get off here as well, just in case you'd like to add it to your Spotify and sing it to yourself. And in terms of the YouTube video for the replay, I will put all of those links in the description box. Thank you guys so much for being here with me. I really do hope that this is the most peaceful and most happy holiday that you have. Please feel free to reach out to me if you have any more questions. I definitely want to support you through this time, especially if you're having any difficulties. Have a great day, guys, and I'll talk to you soon.